One thing about MAGA is they are going to take any issue that it is that they potentially can, and they are going to make it into the biggest molehill in the history of mankind. And in this clip, we see Vinnie Oshana from the PBD podcast absolutely melt down and lose his mind over Hasan Piker. Bear in mind, these are the same individuals that back and always turn the other way when Donald Trump does any of the outrageous things that he does or any of the outrageous things that he says. But Vinny draws the line at Hasan Piker, a streamer. As usual, let's watch the clip in full and give you guys my thoughts towards the end. Let's get into it.
One of the problems you've got, and I'll come to Vinny to respond to this because you've been quite strong on this, Vinny, but Rolling Stone's just published a feature on your nephew, Hasan Piker. Headline, why is everyone scared of Hasan Piker? It reads, a self-described Marxist with an NSF MS Now vocabulary. He's become famous as a peddler of incendiary takes, not so much moving the Overton window as throwing a brick through it. Among his greatest hits, America Deserved 9/11. There's a lot we can learn from the Chinese Communist Party. Let the streets soak in red capitalist blood, most of which he'd later walk back, if not apologize for. It goes on, Piker's a matinee handsome progressive icon who's uniquely talented at translating radical left politics for the kind of Gen Z bros. And the accompanying photo shoot has a picture of him on a motorbike and by a pool looking like a movie star. And the problem with this, I think, Cenk, is that when a lot of Americans see quotes like America Deserved 9/11, and they've been regurgitated because of Hasan's rising profile, and they say there's a lot we can learn from the Chinese Communist Party and let the streets soak in red capitalist blood. They see these quotes come back, and they think this guy is very extreme, and they believe they have a right to be fearful of people like him becoming the faces of the Democrat Party. Before I go to Vinny to talk about that, what would you say in his defense?
Yeah, look, we are all on the air for literally tens of thousands of hours. So I've debated Hasan a lot of this stuff, and he comes from the more, I don't know what word to ever put on it, radical left, max left, whatever it is, right? But again, I'm in favor of Big Ten, and I come from the populist left. So there are some things that are just, you misspeak, and it happens. And he said about 4 dumb things out of, 10, 20, 30,000 hours on air, which, you want to disagree with those. Good news, he also disagrees with those. In fact, the 9/11 comment, he came on the Young Turks right afterwards and disavowed it. So it's that people are trying to make it seem like he still believes it when he disavowed it instantly. Now, if you want to get into a real substantive debate about, hey, where on the socialism, communism, capitalism spectrum we should be, great. I mean, Hasan and I have had that debate for hours and hours. That's at least substantive. We used to do something called agitprop for our members on the Young Turks, where Hasan and I would only debate those kind of economic issues.
Okay.
So that's a legitimate debate. But going back and nitpicking each comment, come on, Vinny, you and I have also said things we probably wish we hadn't said.
All right, well, Vinny, your response.
With all due respect, I have so many things to say, Piers, and thank you for having me on. I miss you. I've been gone for a while, but I keep hearing this big tent Democratic Party, and you know what? Its majority is inside these tents are freaking clowns. So Cenk, you're having these Cenks giving whatever. I've said crazy stuff. You know what I've never said, Cenk, in my entire life? America deserved Americans over 3,000 dying, burning to death, and jumping to their freaking death. And there's no excuse for that. Cenk, I don't care. I've never said anything, and I'm pretty sure you've never said anything remotely to that. So you have these Cenks giving dinners. Do you ever talk to them about this? About the saying, kill them, kill those mother effers, and those mother effers, let the streets soak in their effing blood. If you cared about Medicare or Medicare fraud, kill Rick Scott. My nephew, who's 5 years old, said the F word, and my brother called me the other day, and I told him off. Like as a child, but like in a respectful way. I said, don't you ever use bad words and don't do that. I'm curious in these little dinners, you're not talking to him about that? Cenk, to say that as a New Yorker and how embarrassed and how ashamed I am that these people like AOC are like, no, yeah, he said he's sorry. There's some things, Piers, that you can say you're sorry for, that deep down inside you're saying that he's over it. He just removed one of the photos he has in his stream room, and he put the World Trade burning Okay? So don't give me this, he forgot. But you know how we got to this point, Piers, as populist, whatever, all these Hassans and everything, is because people like James Carville, for the past 10 years, all it's been is Trump. Trump is Hitler, we're Nazis, we're deplorables, and now, when the TDS dust has settled, look who they're left with. Look who they're left with. The AOCs, the Mamdanis, the El Abdul, whatever the hell his name is, that want to abolish ICE, they want to defund the police, they want open borders, and when you mention the SAVE Act, it's racist. How dare you ask people to prove that they're here because Kamala Harris and the Biden administration left the border open for 4 years on purpose. And this is it, okay? So I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. When you say stupid shit like America deserved 9/11, and AOC yesterday was like, yeah, but he said he's sorry. Nonsense. He's not sorry because he believes it. He says he's not patriotic. He dresses up like Mao Zedong, like that's his hero, cosplaying a freaking mass murderer. It's a joke. It's a joke, and people like James Carville saying, oh, I'm excited, and we got talent. Gavin Newsom is your number one, AOC's number two, and Kamala's number three. Talent my ass, Piers, and I'm sorry for cussing, but it drives me crazy. That's the Democratic Party for you.
Vinny, I've missed you too.
Okay.
Love.
So I'm going to go ahead and pause it there. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check out the full episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored. But look, listen. Has Hasan Piker said some of the most outrageous things and stupid things? Yes, I most definitely agree that he has. But this is what my frustration is. Now, if this was coming from someone who was morally consistent, I'd be completely fine with that meltdown. The reason why I find problem with that meltdown is simply because Vinnie Oshana is one of the individuals who bends over backwards and bends himself into a pretzel to try and defend Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump has said and done so much more outrageous things than Hasan Piker has. Let's also not forget, Hasan Piker is a streamer. He is a streamer. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. If we take a look and we can look at some of the most outrageous things that Donald Trump has said and done, let's start with John McCain in 2015 when he said, I like people who weren't captured. I like people who weren't captured. That's what he said about a war prisoner. How about we go to 2015 again, where Donald Trump mocked a disabled reporter. He mocked a disabled reporter. 2018, when he referred to countries such as Haiti, El Salvador, and some African nations as S-hole countries. Let's go all the way back to 1989, the Central Park 5, where he called for the death sentence of 5 young black men for something that it is that they didn't do. And when it was proved that they didn't do it, he didn't retract his statements in any way, shape, or form. How about when he told people that when the looting starts, the shooting starts? After the George Floyd protests. The problem for me is this. Donald Trump is one of the worst individuals in the history of politics. He's genuinely one of the worst. And Vinnie Oshana does not have any of the energy that it is that he has for Hasan Piker that he did in this clip that we saw for Hasan Piker, sorry. I don't even know if that made sense how I said it. Vinny doesn't have any of this energy for Donald Trump the same way he has it for Hasan Piker. That's the problem here, the inconsistency. Because this is the thing, if he really believed what it is that he believed, he'd have that energy regardless of whether or not the person was in the party he supports or not. Because all this is political theatre. That's all it is, the outrage. Everything that it is that people on the right are doing, it's just political theatre. Because they don't have the same energy when Donald Trump does things. Even when he posted photos of the Obamas as monkeys, and he refused to apologize for it. Think of all the things that he's refused to apologize for. When have you seen a clip of Vinnie Oshana having a complete meltdown the same way he is about Hasan Piker? It's not going to, because this is all just theatrics. This is how these people are, and this is the way that they conduct themselves. They're not serious. It's not serious. They just want a reason to be up in arms and complain about things. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. And while you guys are down there, do the usual, give the video a thumbs up, hype up the video, and hit that subscribe button and help us get to 100,000 subscribers. As usual, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next clip.